Justice with Judge Mabel life, because in everything we do, it involves the law. You came to court to testify about what you heard, what you saw, and what you know.
She's fair.
I don't have a hearing problem. This ear works good. This one works even better.
She's firm.
I'm not responsible for that ticket, and I'm not going to pay for it.
Who says you're not going to pay for it? I make that decision, not you.
She's honest.
What you have to say?
All I have to
Nothing.
say.
This is Justice with Judge Mablean. Ben Wise is suing cell phone retailer James McDermott in the amount of $4,289.17. He says the defendant passed him over for a job because he had a history of homelessness. Mr. McDermott claims he never offered the plaintiff a position and is insulted by his allegations of discrimination.
The matter of Ben Wise versus James McDermott, you're suing him for $4,289.17. You said he discriminated against you, would not give you a job just because you were homeless.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, tell me about it.
Him and I had a relationship for a while. Not a full-on relationship, but a quick friendship. He would see me on the streets. He would help me out, buy me food, send me clothing, things of that nature.
So you were homeless?
I was homeless, ma'am,
Okay.
yes. And the reaon why being homeless was I fell on my feet from being drunk from alcoholism. So I took the AA meetings, got myself back together, went to work. I mean, not went to work, but tried to find work, got me a car, got a house with the little work that I could do. And he told me once he started his business that he would be able to hire me because he knew I was qualified because I went to school. So I get to his kiosk and for the interview and see that he's already hiring someone else for the job who was a young kid out of school. So I asked him, I said, well, why do you feel the necessary to do your friend like this, even though I get it as business, but to treat your friend this way of, I was trying to get back on my feet, get my wife back, and, maintain my sobriety in a good way. So since then, it's just, I felt, because the conversation went from, well, I felt like he was going to be here on time to, well, are you going to take a shower? Are you going to make sure you're clean? Are you going to make sure you get here? And I said, well, my track record as being a car salesman prior to me losing my job, that I would be able to maintain, that I am able to maintain my job.
What is the nature of the defendant's work? Or the work you were seeking?
As salesperson.
Sales for what? What type
cell
of
phones.
Products?
Cell
phones in a kiosk in the mall?
Yes, ma'am. iPhone 6.
Okay.
So it was expensive material, but I told him I held cars that were worth $30,000. So if I was going to steal, I wouldn't go to a $700 phone.
When people just steal for less than that.
They do, ma'am. They do.
They steal less than that. They steal $1 things. So.
But I feel that my reputation as the car salesman and the things that I have done since then should have shown that, yeah, he fallen on his feet, but I'll give him a second chance because I know.
So you think he was supposed to hire you?
Not supposed to, but I felt that reaching out would have been good, like you reached out when I was on the street. Now that I'm fully clothed, have a car, have a roof over my head, this is where I need you to help me. Now I'm reaching out to you to say, am I qualified to work at your place?
All right. Mr. McDermott, what's your response?
This gentleman suffers from delusions of alcoholism, evidently, because the relationship that he thinks that we have, or the friendship or partnership or whatever, I didn't have that conversation with him. I did not promise him anything. Okay?
Delusional.
I mean, he's a smart guy. He's likable. You know, I liked him. I see he was having a hard time, down in his luck. Yeah, I give him a couple of bucks every now and again. I, maybe buy him a sandwich, try to get him straight. He asked me what I did. I told him what I did. I own a kiosk in a mall. I'm not down, a billionaire or something like that. I'm an entrepreneur, okay?
Right.
You never get a second chance to make a first impression. My first impression of him was drunk, rambling, some of it made sense, some of it was funny, and some of it was just like, okay, I gotta go. And then I don't see you for 90 days. I don't see him for 90 days. And then he comes in out of the blue. He's got a suit, a vehicle, and an apartment. And he's coming to me for a job. Now, again, the last thing that I saw was him drunk battling on the street. Okay. Right. Kudos to you. Kudos to him for, trying to build, change his life. You know what I mean? but I'm not of dollars, of, you know, cell phones, accessories, you know, just renting the space. And the last time I saw him, he was really, really dirty.
So you weren't ready to make him your salesperson?
This is my baby. This business is my baby. And I'm not going to entrust it to a guy that, yeah, was talking psychology 1 second and
Did you promise him a job?
No.
Well, he said you told him when you get your business. Did you have a business when you first met him on the street?
That's how I kept meeting him on the street, because I was going to work.
Because you was going to work?
I was going to work. He was just there.
Coming up on Justice with Judge Mablean.
He told me, oh, you know, I would have let you move to my, come clean up at my house once my wife left. But then you wouldn't allow me to work at your kiosk.
Coming up.
I don't know where she found this Dr. Ray. I've never heard of him. I don't know if it came off Craigslist or what.
Didn't matter,
I've never...
but assume that a dentist told her that.
He's wrong. He should be here instead of me.
Justice with Judge Mablean. Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Ben Wise, who is suing James McDermott for discrimination.
Okay,
You know,
so
I mean-
you were passing him by on your way to your kiosk.
Yeah, it's kind of that, you know, you wake up after a heavy night of drinking, like, how did I get home? I think this same thing must be going on, and...
No.
Yeah.
No.
So what makes you think he promised you a job?
Not promise. He said once he get more kiosks going, that he will bring me on. And I told him, once I get on my feet, I think I'll be able to qualify
It's crazy.
to this
'cause I thought
job.
you were sober that day. I was telling you I had a broad horizon. You know, I wanted to open up more.
So
I didn't
then,
say...
Your Honor,
Did you open up
Well,
more?
No, I still have the one.
Okay, so he
I
hasn't
don't know
opened up more. Now what?
Wow.
well, Your Honor, this is the, he told me, oh, you know, I would have let you move to my, come clean up at my house once my wife left.
Wow.
It's like, so you allow me to come in your house to wash up and take a shower, but then you wouldn't allow me to work at your kiosk?
Yeah.
So you trust me enough to do that in your house?
Yeah.
Well, first off, I'm
I
not going to
can't.
just let, here, man, here's the keys to my
No,
house,
no,
and you
no.
go ahead and do what you got to do. I'll be back in a couple of... Nah, man, it doesn't work like that.
No.
I would have been there. I was trying to reach out and help him. You know what I mean?
Mr.
So
Wise,
I don't really
He
understand.
keeps saying that he's reaching out trying to help me, but he's really not. Helping me would have got me the job. That would have been helping
I'm
me.
not obligated
But
to
he's
give you
not.
anything. Anything that, let's put it this way, you got brand new clothes, you got a car, and an apartment.
So that should
Spare
show you I'm a
changing?
hard worker. I went from homeless to a brand new car, brand new clothes, and a house. So that means,
So,
okay,
but you
he
did
should-
all that without a job?
I mean, I was hustling,
I'm
trying to, you know, little jobs here, fixing up things here, you know, doing little things that I could, you
And
know,
that's
and family
good.
was helping.
And that's good.
And that's all I was saying, asking
Well,
for
you
just
hustling?
appreciation. Well, you know, I'm like babysitting or, you know, fixing up a house,
So
you know, just like
odd
families,
jobs.
odd
Okay.
jobs, yes.
All right, but Mr. Wise, I'm not going to, somebody said, who let you babysit?
I
don't
know, but that's it's family. It was family. It's, you know, the
members.
family, yes.
Well, just
yes.
odds and end jobs. Whatever you could get to make a buck, you were willing to do.
Yes.
And you were doing a lot of different types of jobs.
Yes.
And you know what? I applaud your efforts. I applaud the fact that you have become clean and sober. I applaud the fact that you've gotten odds and end jobs. You now have a house, apartment, a car, clothing. And as I say to a lot of people on the streets, to me, are some of the smartest people I know, and are really, you know, good at what they do, because there's no way I could survive out in the streets. I mean, to have the ability to be able to reach out to people so they'll give you money. You know, I'm working hard, and to convince me to come out of my pocket and give you money, to be willing and have the courage to stay on the streets at night, to go and do little and odd things. I think you have a great ability. There are some great characteristics there. But I think that you've gotten it confused when you're talking about a person reaching out to give you a helping hand versus giving you a job. Mr. McDermott saw you on the street and said, okay, I'll buy him a sandwich. So he bought you a sandwich. He gave you some change every now and then. He brought you some clothing. That doesn't mean that now I'm ready to employ you. In a business like he has, a kiosk in the mall, that requires a lot of trust. A lot of trust. It's a strenuous job. Got all kind of people coming through there, through the mall. It requires you to be perceptive, as well as a person that deals with details, et cetera, et cetera. But most of all, it requires trust. And that doesn't mean he has to hire you at his job because he talked to you on the street. In order to be discriminated against and to file a claim for discrimination in employment, you have to be in the class of persons that the law protects from discrimination in employment. And that's based upon age, gender, sexual preference, religion, and that. It didn't say homeless. Not yet. Not yet. That's not it. So he didn't owe you that job. No one owes you anything. What you did for yourself, you did for yourself. That was to help you. You didn't do me a favor because you cleaned up. You didn't do me a favor because you became sober. You didn't do him a favor. You did yourself a favor. All right? All right. So judgment for the defendant.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
You told me I had a job. Can't believe you backed out.
Sorry you're confused, but stay sober. Maybe we can work together.
Coming up,
I don't know where she found this Dr. Ray. I've never heard of him. I don't know if it came off Craigslist or what.
Didn't
but
matter,
I've never.
but assume that a dentist told her that.
He's wrong. He should be here instead of me.
Justice with Judge Mablean. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. Simone Jackson is suing her dentist, Dr. Ned Sutton, in the amount of $900. She says the defendant did shoddy work on her teeth and she had to have them fixed elsewhere. Dr. Sutton stands by his work and claims the plaintiff just had poor oral hygiene.
In the matter of Simone Jackson versus Dr. Ned Sutton, you are suing Dr. Sutton, the dentist, for what you allege to be shoddy dental work. So tell me about it, Ms. Jackson.
That's correct. I paid him a visit. We spoke briefly, and after taking x-rays, he said that I needed 2 fillings. I had that done, end of story, and I went back to my office. Within the course of 2 years, I had 4 additional fillings done.
All right.
I changed jobs, which obviously my insurance company changed. So I had to seek a new dentist. My teeth were bothering me, especially on the right-hand side where Dr. Sutton had done his initial work. And I went into this new dentist, Dr. Ray, and we spoke briefly, and I said, you know, this is what my former dentist had done. He suggested starting all over again from scratch, taking x-rays, and then he came back to tell me that not one of the fillings, but all 6 fillings that Dr. Sutton had filled for me were all filled improperly. That he showed me on the x-ray that there was a cavity beneath where he had put the new fillings in. So needless to say, I was a little shocked. I knew that my teeth were bothering me, but
So there was cavity beneath each filling?
each of the 6 that he had filled.
Okay.
So obviously he didn't do his job. I talked to the dentist and the new dentist, and he said if I don't have these refilled, that I'd probably have a number of root canals that had to be done, or the teeth would have to be extracted, and I was looking at implants. And I was not covered by insurance at the time, and I had to pay out of pocket for all 6 teeth to be refilled. And
what did that cost you?
it was $900. I have
So
the bill
that's the
here,
reason
if you'd
for the
like.
$900 you're suing
Yes.
today.
Yes.
All right. And did Dr. Ray, the second dentist, was he privy to the x-rays from the first dentist?
I tried to have them sent over. His office never sent them over, so I had to have new
So the answer is no.
That's correct.
Okay. Now, to you, Dr. Sutton, let me hear your side of this.
Thank you, Your Honor. I apologize for wasting the court's time today and your time. Definitely wasted my time, but I appreciate your attention. She came in. It was obvious that she had not done proper dental hygiene. Fact is, I taught her how to floss. I also gave her some products.
That's not true.
And that was it, and everything was fine. About a year later, she came back, like the other 35 patients that I have do every year. She came in. There was an additional 2 cavities, so it's
Different
obvious.
ones.
Yeah, additional 2.
Why would you suggest then that the other dentist, Dr. Ray, said, and that's all hearsay, by the way, but how could his findings show that all the cavities are still in there, that you didn't fill them properly?
Because I don't know where she found this Dr. Ray. I've never heard of him. I don't know if it came off Craigslist or what.
Didn't
but
matter,
I've never.
but assume that a dentist told her that.
He's wrong. He should be here instead of me.
Coming up,
So I eat nothing has sugar, nothing that's fried.
Yeah, you do eat something that has sugar. Fruit has sugar.
you're watching Justice with Judge Mablean. We're back with the case of Simone Jackson, who is suing Dr. Ned Sutton for medical malpractice.
Let me ask you this. When you filled her cavities, prior to filling the cavities, did you take x-rays of all of her teeth?
Absolutely. I mean, it's
And when you
just
took
standard procedure.
x-rays of all of her teeth, were the only 2 cavities, were the only 2 teeth that needed filling, were the first 2 that you did the
Yeah,
first year?
That was it. Well, the other ones were not advanced enough to do anything with it, but I did explain to her what she needs to do to prevent
Okay,
any
let
of
me
that
ask,
happening.
when you say not advanced enough, did you observe cavities in the other 4 teeth that you ultimately filled? Let me finish my question. When you did her first set of x-rays,
Yes.
did you observe time?
No. That was a year later.
Okay. So when the 2 that you initially filled were the only 2
Right.
where you observed cavities?
Right.
Okay. Do you floss regularly?
I don't floss every day, but I floss at least 2 or 3 times a week.
So you
And-
don't floss daily?
No.
Okay.
I use a water pick, and I also use a brightening tray every
All right.
night.
How is your nutrition?
It's
What's your
excellent.
eating habits?
It's excellent. I'm a
What do you
vegetarian.
eat?
I eat a lot of raw nuts. I eat fruit. I eat vegetables. I eat nothing has sugar, nothing that's fried.
Yeah, you do eat something that has sugar. Fruit has sugar.
Well,
And it has a lot of acid, which causes erosion of the
that's
teeth,
correct.
which can lead to cavities.
Judge Mablean's verdict when Justice with Judge Mablean returns. You're watching Justice with Judge Mablean.
I'm allowing you to talk about Dr. Ray, but that's all hearsay. And the problem I have with it is that Dr. Ray gave you an evaluation that said your other dentist was wrong and he never took the cavities out without ever looking at the x-rays that he had done 5 years before. And there's such thing called a statute of limitations. You can't claim medical malpractice forever. 5 years after the fact, no complaints, nothing said about my teeth hurting, nothing saying to Dr. Sutton about the fillings have come out, nothing to Dr. Sutton for 5 years about his, quote, shoddy work. There's something called the statute of limitations. For all of those reasons, I have to find for the defendant, and that is the judgment.
All rise.
Judge Mablean has ruled in favor of the defendant. The plaintiff's claim is denied.
I believe Judge Mablean made the right decision. I really hope you keep your dental hygiene up.
I disagree with the ruling of this case, and I would never see you again.
This has been a production